Another year slips by. We slipped by COVID in 2022 and lots of wonderful things happened. So let's look at 5 big things that happened on the field in 2022 and 2 very interesting things that happened off it. The 2, by the way, are related. And that was what brings me to my very first point. The rise of the independent leagues in T20 cricket. Independent as opposed to ICC controlled leagues. And you saw Cricket South Africa announcing its league. You saw the Emirates League being announced. You saw a league being announced in the US. And you saw increasingly the importance of these leagues to the economies of their countries. Look especially at Cricket South Africa. We've been saying for a long time, you need alternate sources of revenue. You cannot depend on ICC handouts. And Cricket South Africa have now realized that for their cricket to be financially vibrant, they need a very successful league. And Cricket South Africa has embraced T20 cricket like no other country has, to the extent that on the Future Tours program coming up, they only play 2 test series from here. That is the first big impact of what the leagues are doing this year. Then look what impact it has had, what impact we've had in England. The 100 is now being promoted ahead of the Ashes. When is the best time to play cricket in England? August, always kept aside for the marquee test. Is there a bigger marquee test than the Ashes? No, but there are no Ashes being played in August. It's only the 100. Look what's happening with the IPL. 74 matches. Already the announcement has come that 74 will become 84, will become 94. The spread of the leagues has taken center stage. And slowly, as we move past 23 into 24, we'll start seeing a shakeout. Can CSA and ILT 20 go head to head? Can the US League and CPL and the 100 start being around the same time? And what does it mean for some of the marquee leagues in the world? The Big Bash is under threat. So there's so many things happening. The rise of the leagues. It's also led to a phenomenon that I think we might see a little bit more of in future, which is players committing their futures to leagues rather than to their countries. It started in New Zealand, but don't be surprised if it happens in other parts of the world as well. And that to me was a vibrant illustration of the fact that Test cricket is diminishing in importance and T20 leagues are taking over the world. What about number 2? The way England played Test cricket, and I'm in awe. I watch them play and I think, what are they going to do next? They started against New Zealand at home, then that one-off test against India, then 500 in a day against Pakistan. It's almost as if they're doing a dill scoop on Test cricket. Who decided that you shouldn't play shots behind the wicket? Now you discover that so many shots. You see Sky's wagon wheel, it's behind over there. Who decided that you cannot go at 4.5, 5, 6 and over? And is it sustainable? We don't know. It's been half a year compared to about 150 years of Test match cricket. So we'll wait and see where it goes. But what England have done is absolutely remarkable. And it brings you back to what they did in 2015. Again, there too, they came from absolute depths from the 2015 World Cup, had no choice but to play a certain way. You see how England started playing Test cricket in 2022. They were playing with one batter and accepting defeat. And then suddenly, as they move to the second half of the year, that batter, Joe Root, doesn't score too many runs, but everybody starts playing minor roles. It's like an ensemble cast. It's a big stage play where everybody plays little parts. It comes out of the same thought that came out in 2015. What if I win versus what if I lose? The overall thinking for so long has been, what if I lose? Under Stokes and McCullum, they're saying, what if I win? To me, number 3, and I know this blog is largely for our audiences, and so it comes in at number 3, is Gujarat Titans winning the IPL. If you had given everybody a truth serum just before the IPL started and said, where do you think Gujarat Titans will finish? Not one person in his senses would have said any number above number 6. That team, you just looked at that team and you said, there is no chance this team can win. And then we found Hardik Pandya, the captain, flowering, Hardik Pandya, the player, flowering, roles clearly assigned, key players performing very well. I thought Gujarat Titans winning just told you that you don't need the large marquee players. You play with a plan and you play together. At number 4 in my list is the rising importance of women's cricket. We had a Women's World Cup, we had women's cricket in the Commonwealth Games, we've now got a T20 World Cup coming up, and we've got a Women's IPL coming up. And I'm so excited about the rise of the Women's IPL. Everyone around is talking about it already. And I think we're slowly starting to accept that the women's game is a completely different game from the men's game. and the kind of crowds we got at the end of the year for the India-Australia T20 internationals told me that people are now willing to accept that. And quietly, another little fact slipped by. Got attention at the time, but I think we need to look at it even more carefully, is the first sign of pay parity between men's players and women's players playing internationals. And long may it continue that way. There's always been this debate on whether you pay in relation to box office or you pay in just relation to the work done. And I think there's been a big statement made by the Indian Cricket Board. Number 5 to me was return of cricket to Pakistan. And I think it was so important for one of the early countries in international cricket to have cricket coming back to their country. It's cruel when you cannot play cricket in your own country. There were political reasons, there were security reasons, we understand all that. But the kind of effort Pakistan made to get cricket back into their country was praiseworthy. What I found interesting though was once the cricket started, 2 or 3 things came to the fore. One was we saw a diffident test match team. Pakistan in T20 cricket, completely different side from Pakistan in test match cricket. They played cautious defensive cricket. They put out defensive pitches, not playing to their strengths. And suddenly the bowling, which is such a big part of their success, wasn't there. And England was scoring at 5, 6 and over against them. So that was one trend. The other, a little more worrying for Pakistan, was the crowd started to go away. Multan is a little outside town, you could understand, but by the time the series came to Karachi, there were very few people watching. Is Pakistan a complete T20 country now? We'll wait and see, but the return cricket to Pakistan was very heartwarming. So to me, these were the 5 big things. I'm sure you'll have lots of things in your own mind that you thought were very important in 2022. As you react to this blog, just tell me about them. Now I'm going to move on to 2 key things that happened off the field. The IPL rights. Incredible. Then the ICC rights. India added $9.5 billion to world cricket. And I think we just need to pause a while and take in the enormity of that number. $9.5 billion with one particular rights holder putting a huge amount of importance on streaming as opposed to terrestrial television. So how are people going to watch cricket? I think that was a big statement made there. But $9.5 billion, like the price of real estate in Mumbai. Every time you see a price, you say, no chance, the world's gone insane. And the world just goes even more insane. And you wonder if you should have been buying at the earlier price point. So I think that was one huge factor that we saw off the field. And who knows where the price points are headed. The second factor was an outcome of what we discussed about things on the field. And that is what impact did T20 leagues have on the FTP. Everybody now wants to play T20 cricket. And we saw a very proud test match playing country, South Africa, one of the best bowling sides, among the top teams playing test match cricket, actually saying we need to protect our T20 game. And so they're only playing 2 test matches in the FTP cycle, 2 test series only. They don't even play 3 test series. They're saying, no, we cannot afford to play test match cricket. We can only afford to play T20 cricket. And in an effort to get that T20 cricket going, they were willing to miss out on one-day international cricket, risk qualification for the World Cup that is coming up, but they want to protect their T20 cricket. To me, that was a dramatic development, that South Africa only played 2 test matches. So you see, the winds of change have been blowing in 2022. They're always blowing, but sometimes suddenly, remember, you get this gust of breeze that scatters things around in your drawing room. I think that is what happened in 2022.